What's up, boys? Today we're going to be playing 1-2 no limit. We're going to be buying in for $500. We're here at PH Dallas. We're going to be playing 1-2 no limit today. We're going to be buying it for $500. Let's see if we can run it up. Let's take you straight to the tables right now. Boys, in our first hand we look down at ace king offsuit. We have a player under the gun that raised to 10. He's got about $300 behind, and we 3-bet him to 35. We want to isolate this player, one of the softer players at the table. It looks like he's going to make the call, so we're going to go heads up to a flop with about $70 in the middle. Dealer one time, we just need an ace or a king, nothing too crazy. But the flop comes jack 7 deuce, 2 hearts. And he's going to check to me. I'm asking about how much he's got behind, more or less, so I can see how much to bet. I'm going to make it 25. I didn't hit this flop, but I have to c-bet. You know, I'm not going to check back after 3-betting. He makes the call, though. So we're going to go heads up to the turn. Turns an ace. What a beautiful card. At this point, he's got about 150 behind, and he leads out for $50, boys. Leads out on a perfect card for me. At this point, he's telling me he has an ace. So I just stick it all in, and we're hoping for him to call. He's contemplating right now. He goes into the tank, and I'm just praying, throw a chip in there one time, please, brother. We got him dominated unless he has ace-jack. Ace-jack would have called by now, though, so yeah. He ends up folding. We take the pot down. On to the next one, boys. Nice little pot our way. We got to scoop that one up. Let's go. One time for the good guys. All right, boys. In our next hand, we look down at ace-queen offsuit. We have a $5 button straddle, and it is ultimate last action. So he gets to get the last action no matter what. Player under the gun raises to 15. He's a pretty good player. He's been opening kind of wide. So I 3-bet him to $50. Now it skips the player on the button, and it goes to the player in the small blind, and he decides on calling too. And it's going to go back to the player under the gun. Like I said, once again, he was a pretty good player. I already played a couple pots with him. No big pots, pretty small pots throughout the night. But he was opening pretty wide, so I had to 3-bet him, especially with this hand. He ends up making the call, and then the player on the button makes the call too. So now there's 200 in the middle, and we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop, one time dealer, give me an ace. No ace. Flop comes 3-3-7 rainbow. It checks to me after the small blind check, under the gun player checked. I probably should check it to the button, but I'm going to take the aggressive route and bet $70. I just think it's probably a better idea if I check the flop, but I don't mind being aggressive every once in a while. But anyways, I bet 70 into 200. The player on the button calls. The small blind folded. Now it's back to the player under the gun. He was a pretty good player, like I said. Once again, he's capable of bluffing, boys. I haven't seen him bluff yet, though, but he is capable of it. Now he re-raises me to $200. $200. And now I'm in the tank. I'm thinking about what to do. I think the only right thing is to fold, honestly, with a player behind me. I end up folding, and now the player on the button goes all in, and he gets snapped off by the player under the gun. We're going to see a run out, boys. Let's see if we made a good decision. Comes a jack of spades. Comes a king of diamonds. I think we did a good fold, boys. Player on the button shows pocket eights. Under the gun player shows a 3. Ace 3 suited, boys. He flop trips. All right, boys. This one's going to be a fun one. I have jack 9 offsuit in middle position. We have a $5 button straddle. And a new player who just sat down under the gun raises to $20. Then the good player behind me calls a 20. I just call the 20. And it goes to the small blind who also calls a 20. And shocker, what do you know? The big blind calls a 22. Wait, not just the big blind. The button calls it too. $120 in the middle. We're going like 20 ways to this flop right now. You know, nothing new in Texas poker. But anyways, flop comes out Jack Queen 10 rainbow. and the button leads out $20 into 120. Then the player behind him also makes the call, and alarm bells are going in my head. It's his first hand. We have a lead and then a flat right behind him, and then another flat for 20. I just know I'm no good. I fold. And the new player shows quad queens. Good fold on our part, boys. If you guys love bluffs, you're going to love this next hand. We get ace-3 offsuit in the small blind. The player under the gun makes a 10. Player behind him calls, button calls, and I call out of the small blind. There's four of us to the flop, and the flop comes deuce, deuce, 4 rainbow. Boys, you should not be calling out of the small blind. You should be folding and 3-betting. But I'm a donkey. I do not know how to play this game. Under the gun leads out for 10. Player behind him calls for 10, and I call the 10. We go 3 ways to a turn. And I'm just hoping for a good card. It's not a good card. It's a jack of diamonds. So I'm going to check. Player under the gun is thinking about it. He's honestly a pretty decent player. He checks back, and the player behind checks. We'll go to a river. It's a deuce. Everything gets there. The full houses get there. The flushes get there. So I think it's a good card to rep. So I lead for $125. The player under the gun is tanking for a little bit. Honestly, I think he kind of knows I'm bluffing. So at this point, I feel like I'm just going to get called off. And it's not a good thing, honestly, boys. My first bluff of the night, too. But he ends up folding, thankfully. Now, there's only one player to beat. Will he fold? Will he call? I have no idea. I'm honestly pretty 50-50. I feel like this player is one of those kind of, you know, if you got it, you got it. So he might just stick in the call. I'm hoping he ends up folding, though, because this is my first bluff of the night. I haven't really showed any bluffs. And I hope he can respect that. And he ends up calling, and he does not respect me. And he shows pocket threes. He owns my soul. Okay, boys, lock in. This is the biggest pot of the night right now. We have Jack 8 suited, +1 position. We raised to $15. There is a button straddle once again. And the player in the small blind, he raises me to $55. We haven't really seen nothing too crazy from this player. He sat down with $200. He's been playing pretty straightforward, honestly, too. So I know this is a big hand for him. But once the player behind him makes the call, like, I have to call. I mean, you don't have to, but, you know, I'm just getting a good price to call, and I'm in position as well. So I make the call. We'll go 3 ways to the flop. There's about 160 in the middle. And the flop comes 5 king jack 2 spades. And the player in the small blind just leads out, and he jams all in, boys. He's all in for about 130-ish, more or less. And the player behind him, he goes into the tank. And honestly, I kind of don't like this. I know one of them's got a big pocket pair at this point. At worst, the player in the small blind, I think honestly he has ace king and he doesn't want the spades to get there. But once the player behind him asks for a count, I know he's interested in the pot, and I know he's pretty strong too. He ends up calling, boys. He ends up calling. And honestly, there's only one move for me. It's fold or all in. And I take the aggressive route and I go all in for about $600 more or less with Jack 8 suited. I have middle pair with a flush draw right now. Honestly, yes, I know I'm behind right now, but I have good equity to get there. And if I don't get there, then you know what? At least I put pressure on him to fold. I'm honestly putting him maybe on king, queen, king 10, maybe a lower spade draw. He could even possibly have queen 10 offsuit with no spades. But yeah, after a while, he ends up making the call. He ends up making the call, boys, and we go all in 3 ways. 3-way all in, boys, to the turn. You are not going to expect to see what they flip over. Pocket aces. He flips over pocket aces. I never put him on that hand. What's going on right now? I'm so shocked. And I'm just going to let you guys hear the rest of this hand live.
No more action, guys. No more action.
Hey, yeah.
Oh
Shiv
my
it.
God.
Shiv it, shiv it, shiv it.
Oh, that's it.
Don't even think about it.
See 420?
Yep.
I'm telling you, I'm bad, bro. I just got lucky. I'm bad at this game. Let's fucking go, boys. What a massive pot we just won. We're sitting at about 1,300 in chips now. Sometimes the donkeys do win, boys. All right, boys, in this next hand, we look down at ace-8 offsuit in the big blind. And we're going to make it 15. And the player on the button straddle calls the 15. We're short-handed. We're 5 players right now. But we go heads up to this flop of ace, queen, 7, rainbow. And I'm going to lead out for $15. The player automatically just calls me. Turns of 5 of spades. Not too scared of this one, but I kind of want to be checking. Hopefully get him to start bluffing right now. And sure enough, whether he's bluffing or not, he does bet the turn. He bets $40 on the turn. And I'm left with a decision now. Should I just call? Should I raise? I kind of don't want to raise because I feel like I'm going to scare all his bluffs away. So I just call the $40. And we see a river card. It's a king. So yes, Jack 10 does get there, but I mean, if he has Jack 10, I'm paying him. You know, I'm not gonna fold to that. You know, if he has Jack 10, God bless his soul. But yeah, he ends up betting about $150 on the river, and we're in the tank on what to do, whether to raise or just call. But I end up making the call, and he shows a complete airball bluff. He's got nothing. My ace wins. So now our stack grows to a whopping $1,700, boys. Let's go. Let's lock in. All right, boys. In this next hand, we look at the old Jack 3 suited. We have a player under the gun with a straddle, a $5 straddle. And the next player to act, she just got to the table. And I can tell she called the $5 blind. So this is the reason behind this hand. I saw she called the $5 blind. I just wanted to take this pot down pre-flop. So I made it $35. Not knowing the player next to me was going to call. And he was a pretty tight player, to be honest. So that was not a good thing for me. But the straddle folded, and then the lady ended up folding. We go heads up to the flop. There's $80 in the middle. And I'm out of position. It's not a good thing right now, boys. But the flop brings 5, 6, 6. This is more of my board than him. So that's a good thing. I lead out for $30. I have the backdoor flush draw. And I have an over to a jack. That's about it. And he ends up making the call. So we're going to go heads up to the turn. And the turn brings in the deuce. We have a gutter ball now. We have a gutter ball. And basically just a jack. That's about it. We have to keep bluffing. There's no way out of this. We're stuck in it. We got to live with it. So I lead out for $60 and continue the bluff. And he ends up grabbing some chips and calling, boys. At this point, I'm just giving up unless I bink a jack on the river. So yeah, it's pretty much done. But then I hit the jack. But the heart does get there. So if he has hearts, yeah, he got there. And he immediately leads out for 75. And I'm low-key disgusted. But a part of me still doesn't believe him. I think with ace king or any of ace queen, all ace 10 suited, I feel like they would have re-raised me pre-flop. And because of that, I end up making the call, and he says, "You're good." And I'm like, "I want to see it, bro." And he shows ace queen offsuit. And I'm good with the jack. He was right. He did catch us bluffing. But like the donkey I am, I got there on the river. We hit the jack, and we won a pretty decent sized pot. Let's fucking go, boys. All right, boys, this next hand's an interesting hand. We look down at 10-9 of hearts in the small blind. And the lady under the gun opens to 20. She does not have chips yet. They're bringing her chips. So the big blind gets confused, and he kind of shows his cards on accident, thinking me and him were going to chop because he didn't see her chips. But she did have, I believe it was $500 or $600 behind. And she made it 20. He folds. King, queen. King, queen is what he exposed, and he folded. She made it 20 once again under the gun, and I 3-bet her to $70 from the small blind. So I can see why he was kind of confused in this hand. He thought me and him were going to chop. But honestly, we have to see that hand regardless. It's just part of the game. If she saw it, I saw it. The whole table has to see it. So yeah. Important note to take in this hand. Flop comes ace, 8-6, 2 diamonds. I have a gutter ball. I should be c-betting this flop. But she's kind of a stickier player, so I decide just to check, and she checks back. Turn, though, is a queen. It gives me a double gutter. And honestly, her checking back the flop tells me she has a marginal to weak ace. Or she could have kings or jacks. So yeah. So once I lead out for 60, she just rips it in my face for about $350 to $400 more or less. And I'm kind of in a situation. Have a double gutter. She could have a marginal ace, which is beating me. Jacks is beating me. Kings is beating me. I don't really beat anything, honestly. But I do have a double gutter. I have about 25% equity, more or less, against all those hands. And let me know, you guys calling? Are you guys folding? What are you doing? I ultimately decide on a fold, boys. Comment down below. You guys gonna fold or call that hand? Honestly, I'm so curious to see what y'all say. All right, boys. In this next hand, we look down at the ladies in the big blind. And the lady from the last hand raises a $20. Now the good player in the small blind 3-bets to $60. And I know he's doing this to isolate her. He wants to keep her one-on-one and get me out of it. But I'm not going to have that today. I'm just going to call the $60 because I want to bring her in the pot. Usually I would be 4-betting in this spot. But, you know, like I said, I want to keep her in the pot. I want to play pots with her. I might be monkey in the middle in between both of them. But I'll take it. I'll maneuver carefully. And yeah, let's just get a good flop. It's going to be 3 of us to a flop now. Dealer, 1 time queen on the flop. No queen, but it comes 9-7 deuce, 2 hearts. For a clean flop that we asked for, that's pretty clean as it gets. But the good player is going to lead out for $60. And I'm just going to call. I feel like if she has a flush draw, she's going to call as well. And sure enough, she does call. The turn's going to bring a deuce. So now for some reason, if she had 9-7 or if he had 9-7, which I doubt, it's going to cancel that. And I have a better 2 pair. So yeah, I'm kind of loving life right now. Just until the good player goes into the tank. And ultimately, he decides on a bet. I know he's thinking on how much to bet. And he comes with a size. I think it's 200 or 225, boys. Looks like 225. Kind of hating this spot for a little bit because, you know, aces do this, kings do this. I mean, ace king of hearts does this too. And even the clubs do this. The lady ended up folding, so now we're heads up with the good player. Let's hope for a clean river card. The river is a jack of clubs. The backdoor clubs do get there, but we're not going to be putting them on that. If he has backdoor clubs, if he has ace king of clubs, you know, so be it. You know, he's going to get paid. We're not going to be folding this spot. Honestly, at this point, the only hands that we're scared of aces and kings, and now kind of jacks, you know, because the jacks do get there on the river, and I feel like jacks would play it this way. Aces and kings definitely are going to keep betting on the river. I feel like it's jacks or nothing at this point. And I have to go for some value. If he's got jacks and he raises me, we can still fold. So I'm going to make a tiny bet that only a weaker hand can call. I don't really want to make a bigger bet because, you know, only a better hand's going to call me. Sure enough, he makes the call. And he didn't tell me what it was, but you know what? I'm happy with it. We'll take down the pot. We'll scoop in another big one. All right, boys, this is going to be the last hand of the night. We look down at 9-8 of hearts in early position with a $5 button straddle. Our table broke, so we moved over to a new table. And the only player that came from the last table was the lady on the button that we played with a pot with before. And she ends up making the $15 call on the button. And we're going to go heads up to this flop. Let's get one good flop before we go, huh, dealer? Okay, it's not bad, but not bad. 3-8 deuce rainbow. I'm gonna check. We do have backdoor hearts. She leads out for $30 though. I kind of don't believe her, and I kind of want to play a big pot with her right before I go. I think she has overcards at this point, so I'm gonna raise her to $110. And she immediately just grabs her chips and puts them in the middle. And yeah, I'm honestly at this point a little bit worried, but not too worried. I do, like I said, I think she has overcards, and that's about it. When the turn brings the 7 of spades, though, it's not too good. It's okay to keep betting, but my kicker's not strong enough, so I'm going to check, and she checks it back. Now, the river is another 8. The flush does get there. The backdoor flush does get there, but we can't be worried about it. I tried to trap her. I checked, and then she checked it back, and she instantly mucks. And I think she had overcards, like I said before. Would you guys like to spin the roulette wheel but don't have a casino near you? Well, I have the solution for you. It's called spinquest.com. Legal in 42 states. Use the link in my description or use code ERIC on spinquest.com and go claim your $30 coin package for the price of $10. Boys, that's gonna wrap it up for this session. We're in for 800 and cashed out 24.90. Let's fucking go, baby. Today was a fucking crazy session, I'm not gonna lie. To start off, it was a kind of nitty table. There was a lot of pros at my table and I almost left, but that big Jack 8 hand, man, that was crazy, y'all. If you guys like the poker content, let me know, comment right now down below, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I'm gonna be doing Mondays gambling and Fridays poker. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Subscribe right now. Love y'all, bye.